All right, all right, all right. Good evening, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me. This is you, Big Chonis, March 27, 2019. We are a mere 8 minutes away from our closing candle. I wanted to put up our chart here of Bitcoin. Let's go to our daily. Look how bullish we are. It looks like we're apparently about to close our daily candle here. Chad's calling me. Hey, Chads, I'm live. What's going on, buddy? I'll hit you up later. Bye. We are checking out Bitcoin's daily price action here, closing in about 7 minutes now at the highs of our current daily candle. After the previous 2 days have found support, which we keep seeing here and here with our lower wicks, right? And look at our volume today, okay? Much higher than yesterday, much higher than the past week, really, since March 21st. This is our highest volume day, and let's face it, it's a lot of buy volume today. A lot of buy volume is coming in once again, and once again in retesting our 4K range, our $4,000 range, and it looks like once again we'll be closing above $4,000. We did that like 7 days ago, so it's taking us a week of consolidation, finding support 3860, the range, slight range high of our upper candle closes we had in the early March area as we were finding our support. Now, when was the last time we had a green Maribozu as we currently have here, with such a very short lower wick and such a very currently short upper wick on a daily candle like this? I mean, we're looking at, we got a larger wicks. This guy here, maybe March 5th, is probably our closest with the similar bottoming, but this even had a little bit of a sell-off here. So very strong current candle, something we really haven't seen, you could argue, since our bottoming here. We've always had kind of a slight end of day sell-off, even if it's a few bucks here, and it was 6 minutes to go on our daily candle, still holding strong, around the 4,030 region. And we're trying to put in, because let's face it here, we're trying to put in a higher closing high than our most recent previous closing high on our daily time frame. So for that, let's move you guys over here. So for that, we have a close of 40.31 on March 20th. We have a high of 40.56 on March 21st. And these are two key critical areas that used to correspond with our rising diagonal, our rising channel, thank you, which in itself is kind of subjective as to where exactly our top zone is. It could give a little deference even higher, but something along this linear axial plane, as the price action is trying to close above our mid-range, more or less, of our area here. I think actually the higher time frame sets a better, almost a better channel here. Bam, right? So breaking middle support, testing close to our lower channel resistance, and then busting through our middle channel there. Remember, guys, give me a follow on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you guys give me a follow on Twitter. Tell your friends. Feel free to check out Chonis Trading, bigchonis.com, chonistrading.com. Talk a little bit about what I offer on my mentoring sessions here. Only $129 per hour. Get you educated on TradingView, how to use basic TA, and all the great and powerful indicators and oscillators and all sorts of things I like to use when I do analysis on these charts here. Who do we got in the chat room? 77 of my closest friends watching tonight. Canyon Man, MWM48. Scorp Music, Pat Can, Goody 0810, Gino B, Yo Shisters. What's going on, guys? Joe Friedenberg, what's up, my friend? Balasperian Kanan, Claiborne Taylor, Jay Constant, Shireen. Yes, I did get a Powerball. I hope you got one as well. Rick Taglietti, if I win the Powerball, I am going to definitely put a little bit of crypto. So listen, we're minutes away from our closing candle here. Let's get really deep and accurate, and let's just stick with our daily candle for now, as we are minutes away and we are just pulling back ever so slightly, couple of dollars here, as the resistance here over 4K for the third time in this month of March, which is ending. This is the last week of March here. Remains consistent. Now, let's talk about the overall larger structures. Let's get rid of this guy for just a moment here. Listen, you guys watch my show. You hear me talk about the clarity of our resistance here. Everything from, 4,100, 4,200. Really, this market can completely flip really bullish. And what I mean by really bullish is that you can have the continuation of the stability that Bitcoin has brought a lot to the altcoin market. That continuation, especially with our majors here, with the advance of Bitcoin. It's kind of that make or break area for Bitcoin here. The close above, everything from 41.29 all the way up to 41.92, that 4,200 range, which twice and is trying to be a thrice throw play, wants to rip it higher there. Now, we have this, and we kind of have this ascending triangle here. I look at it in kind of two vectors here. Let's get, I guess the green is probably the most clear. Okay, because we had one angle, and then in a way we're kind of accelerating our up angle here. Okay, I just don't think we're going to range out, freaking into August, September in this $3,000-$4,000 range. I just can't imagine we would get deep into this ascending apex that late into this year. I don't think the market's that patient. I actually feel like a more sustainable move can be happening because, listen, we are still under the 4K. I shouldn't say we're under 4K. The 4K is becoming more and more less and less of a meaningful resistance, frankly, and or support. Okay, the break of it on the daily and the close below it on the daily has been kind of meaningless all throughout, and the fact that we continue to test lower range areas. Okay, as we are again flirting with the 4K area, we've just crossed over our barrier. We are in a new day of price action. Daily candle did close above 4K, okay, but it also closed lower than the previous candle close, 40.31, 40.26, a mere $5 differential. Our overall highest close in the most recent is 4110 back on February 23rd, with a intraday high the following day of 41.88, and these areas still continue to be our best gauge as really what this near-term resistance of the market is here, and if we can even get up to those levels there. So our near-term channel support holding, middle channel close above, but let's see what else the chart's telling us here. Daily Bollinger Bands still rather tight. I kind of like that in the sense that the lack of the volatility here has tightened these, and when these do get tight, we can definitely range in them. before the more bigger and sustained move breaks and closes us. Remember, we have not closed outside of our Bollingers since March 16th here. So we're getting 2 weeks out here, contained between our I guess our bands here. We did close 2 days below our middle BB, but we're very tight here. 38, 35 to, I mean, $150, $200 here basically separates our upper and a lower. And that's kind of how I named this this particular broadcast here on Twitter, was this kind of range anxiety, where it's like, okay, we definitely want to continue our bullish momentum into the whole crypto market as a whole, right? Because the gains that we're seeing in the altcoins has been kind of continuously where it's at because of Bitcoin's continuous sideways price action ranging ability. But overall, we're still seeing that rejections continue. And if this chart, this Bitcoin chart, which is, thinking about this, Bitcoin is half the market cap, yet it really controls almost 100% of the influence, you could argue. I say 100% sparingly, high 90s, let's say, because let's face it, some coins now are kind of doing their own things. You have to really give them the benefit of the doubt. Specific winners we've seen throughout the month of March there. But in the end, Bitcoin will always run the show. And the continuality of the bullish trend is really the majority of what's holding up the altcoin market right now, putting in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, 37, higher lows, 38, higher lows, 4K. And how many times do we have to break 4K, be above 4K, test 4K, intraday, hold above it before we say, okay, let's make 4K a support level, which it has not really been able to hold for very much longer than a day or so. I mean, let's face it, how we talk about the 4K area of support, and yet we're only able to hold it minimally through this entire move here, more or less, for a very limited amount of time. So that's the kind of situation that we continue to watch as a new day of Bitcoin has begun. Age 8 Products, hello my friend, thanks for joining me tonight. Derek Carey, the Shite Coin Kid, Tariq Mohammed, I will check on that as well. S.A. Ramsey, where's Vamp, huh? Haven't seen Vamp in a little bit. I guess he's a busy man. John W. A. Ramsey, Sean B. Yes, he is. S.S. Schwartz, yeah, that's a good point. In a bear market, testing multiple resistances over and over and over again and still continuing that resistance to hold is definitely notable. Something to keep watching. Neo Geo. Kamelesh Patel, what's up, my brother? 89 watching. What do you got? Only 24 thumbs up. Just give me a quick thumbs up there. Much appreciated. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well. I'd like to get over 4K. I've been at 3.5 followers on Twitter, on YouTube for quite a while. Remember to give me a follow on Twitter as well. Guys, Bitcoin still in a brand new day here. Let's bring up our triple MAs. 100, 250. On our daily chart here, showing our ranging 50, now supporting today as high as 38.40. What a move this thing has rocketed over the past several days there and accelerating. And listen, the 50 combined with the 100, I expect to continue to add support as it was once resistance here. And briefly, the 100 was just... took one day to bust through that SOB, boom, and then support, right? Still close here. Our 50 is starting to get a little spacing here as the continuation of the bullish trend is pulling it higher. Still MA 200 locally, 4,600 and falling. And getting closer horizontally to coinciding with our near-term top of 4,400, let's say. And this thing probably still has into the first or second week of April to achieve that $4,400 area. But let's face it, Bitcoin's ranging, maybe testing back the 50 or the 100 one more time. Okay, this MA200 still considers, you have to still consider a target here, as it has yet to be tested, and the rejection confirmed way back a year ago. Okay, we have not touched this thing for over a year. We've come close to it on several circumstances, and we've definitely yeah, I guess compared to our February lows of 18 and then our December lows of 18 here, this was the farthest spacings we've had. Oh, I guess here was pretty far back, June. Very wide there as we were spaced out tremendously there. So our three indicators are closing in. Now remember, we were close here as well with our 50, 100, 200 on our daily. So we're in a way getting closer, which is a bullish pattern, but in also a way we're just continuing to compensate for the insane bearishness that the Bitcoin price action did face. And similar here to the rejections, okay, of the price action, finding that rejections, the 50 to 100, okay, and not even be able to get it through the 200 there before our overall bear break. The same can still apply as they get tighter on this move as well. Daily chart still, let's take a look at a couple other indicators. RSI, let's face it, it's still a strong 60. I mean, it's still a strong 60. And it's been quite a while since we've fallen really precipitously, you know, from the 60s, you know, down to the 30s in a week or so, where we haven't seen that. Now, we're still putting in these lower highs that our channel support's holding, but, you know, there could be a channel resistance still yet to be tested. On the upper resistance, as the bottom support triple test is kind of what we're watching, and this as well as this apex zone, you know, beginning to form. Right, and these don't generally go to the finality of said apex. So the daily RSI is coming to a big decision here of, are you going to really bust through, break up? And there's still upward momentum running room even before we retest our potential upper resistance line. But our lower support line is clear and denoted here, and the retest of the 53 area is kind of where we're looking to hold on that play. Daily stochastics here, okay, clear reset from a not zeroing out. Okay, we put in these 12 and 22 here, higher low on the reset there, and you know, looking pretty strong here. Leading indicator definitely near term stronger. Our trailer's taking its time there, but room on the upside here. MACD wants to clearly do this back test, retest. Still in the bearish mode here, as we've yet to cross, and still with the negative histogram, as let's face it, even though we're a little bit bullish, we'll only come up just, you know, under $100 basically. It's going to take more than that, you know, to change that guy. Now this thing is still continuing to be fascinating to me. This is our OBV oscillator. We are about a day away. After tomorrow will be a doubling up of our initial bounce pressure. Okay, and listen, we do have examples of you know, times where we've been extended as high as 50, 55, 56 bars here before that reset, but we're getting later into here where this could suggest we have another week or so of bullish momentum pulling us into April. Okay, that's a very good possibility, but the fact that we're in this newer uncharted bullish range, doubling our only precursor, feels that we're lengthy in this overall move here. Wow, look at that. TDI here is back to fully bullish. We have green over red, both over middle BB. Remember, we had lost this. We had green under red, and then the green lost the middle Bollinger. The red didn't even get down there to really touch it. Maybe intraday it did there, shifting higher there. So this is a strong support hold there. Not even ranging lower, and now we are in a more bullish stance than we were the past several days there. So that is notable and holding quite nicely here. OBV as a whole here is still ranging above our kind of near-term channel we were watching here. We get a little too extended, we come back, we find a middle channel support, and we're able to range once again. I'd say we kind of chill around this line here, watching to see if that rejection holds. Kind of keep this here and see how this plays out over the next couple days here. Okay, look at this kind of mountain forming here. Wouldn't be surprised. Pull back one more time here, try and look for that support here. Very close here to like a real big inflection point, I feel, in the overall price action here. Look at yesterday's dollar volume. It was actually kind of good. There was a decent amount of money flow coming into Bitcoin's price action. This is more or less truer or true dollar volume here. Definitely makes a big difference. Gives a more clear picture into actually how much real money flow, maybe actually coming into this, and that's kind of the things that we're trying to find and looking for there. Okay, so nice advance on that, but look at our, see this other line here? Let me see if I can really intensify this, because we can talk about trends all we want here, but we really have to. There we go. There we go. That's cool. That's cool. And let's make it white so we can really see it. All right, this is just basically our overall dollar volume trend. And let's face it, even with these little random spikes here and there, okay, look at lower, 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 lower. Okay, we found some support. And there's that money coming back in February, right? March. And ever since after the first week of March there, look at this declining real dollar volume money flow in Bitcoin's price action. Now maybe this is just saying, okay, maybe just money's flowing into altcoins. There's a valid argument to be made for that, right? Maybe just money's just being lackluster flowing the bucket. But how can Bitcoin be rising and holding its stability with less money flowing in? Almost feels like it's a little vulnerable. And the vulnerability of Bitcoin, I think, is what we have to really focus on now. Okay, the drift up, it's great, but we talk about this drift up. And how strong is it? How high are we really getting here? And for that, I want to bring up my EMA 12, my EMA 26 here. I'm still going to hold on my daily chart. Let's get this cleaned up. There we go. And what's notable is our past 3 days after closing above EMA 26, which is our yellow here, support. Okay, that was a very strong bullish sign there. Okay, a failure to do it here with a quick slingshot back, and then testing. How many times has this line been tested? And as long as it holds, okay, you can expect bullish continuation. But how many times can it be tested? How many times can this drift up continue? And now near term, we're looking for our EMA 12 daily to hold that support just a hair under 4K 3966. I want to just quickly look at the 6 hour there. So we're looking for continuation. We're looking for the spread out of our near-term EMAs. The 6 hour, we have examples of it, doing it and then losing it, doing it and then losing it. Here was our bear cross. Here's our bullish move cross here. But again, everything is suggesting maybe we need to retap just a bit under 4K one more time. you know, and the bulls want to continue to build up this base here. They can get the money flow coming in, but let's face it, over the longer, wider frame here, again, daily chart, you know, I would argue the money's consistent, the volume's consistent, sure, okay, but is either we're gonna just get out of nowhere some insane volume popping in here in Bitcoin, you know, to blast this thing higher. Because look at coin market cap, if you can, because this website's been crapping out of me all night here. I'll come back to you in just a minute there. But we're right about 50-50, 50% in Bitcoin, 50% in altcoins. Daily Tenkan-sen, remember we talked about this last night. We closed above our Tenkan-sen support, held it today, blasted through once again. So we have again our Tenkan-sen support. Near term still in the 3,900s. Overall cloud support ranges between $3,700 to $3,800, and have not seen a rise yet in our Kaijin-sen on our daily. On our daily remains still our only cloud that the price action is in. Every other lower time frame we have broken through, and higher time frames, you know, still a ways to go just to even get into a cloud. But we've been riding these supports ever since. Notice the 3-day Tenkan-sen 3765, and I haven't talked much about the 3-day. I like using my 3-day because it kind of cuts through a lot of the crap, especially in our sideways price action, you know, Bitcoin price action here. And what we're basically watching for is, do we have enough oomph to retest our upper Bollinger 4186, which again puts us at a double top. Look how convenient our upper BB is. Happens to be right at our previous wick out daily candle, 3-day candle, mind you, resistance at 4193. Market cap, no dice. Screw it. Yep, there's the website. Okay, so listen, 3-day candle, and we have 29, 27. Looks like we got another day or so on that guy there. We are almost-ish halfway through the week. All right, so it's cool to bring up our weekly chart. Talked about this in the last show. Closed above middle Bollinger last week. Tested middle Bollinger support this week-ish, close enough, minus a couple bucks here, like literally a couple bucks, and bounced off it. And so we're like, okay, that's good. I'll take that. I will see where this can lead me. Can this lead me to upper Bollinger resistance? Remember, next week this is going to fall. It's going to fall like back down at like, again, the $4,400 area. So another example of where $4,400 can be that resistance where Bitcoin can just try and reach one more time still. It wants it, but look at their volume here. I mean, low, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're on our 5th week. Remember, we're still halfway through. We can definitely change that momentum, but we are on our 5th week of potential declining volume here. Okay. On our weekly, and the triple test of their MA200, I don't really find very confident in that triple test will then springboard us higher. If we're going to break 4K, hold 4K, be above 4K, and retest the mid 4Ks for the chance to go higher, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say 5K. Not yet. But if that were the case, I don't want to hit the MA200 again. I don't. I've tested it twice. That's good enough for me. I want to just keep ranging higher. But look at our volume. I'm not sure we can do it. I'm really not. And if we touch this area here, which keeps rising us every week, currently at 34.90 and rising, I will be skeptical. Now listen, our monthly chart here, still MA50, okay, untouched here on the monthly. April will start around $3,200 support. Again, lower. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my God, did I just yawn? I'm not that tired. Nay is me. 104. All right, we broke the century mark. 104 people watching. Let's get 104 thumbs up. 107 on that. on this here, watching us Wednesday's price action of Bitcoin. Remember, we close out our month, guys, in like 4 days. So I'm going to start bringing up our monthly candles a little bit more here. I'm very curious to see where our April month begins, because these, especially our upper Bollinger, is going to begin, ranging lower the farther it gets past our parabola, a parabolic move we had, which is crazy. We're over a year ago, 2 years ago. Oh my God. That's right. Over 2 years since Bitcoin's peak. Isn't that crazy? Has it really been 2 years? December 2017, December 18? No, it's been 1 year. Jeepers, 1 year and like 3 months. All right, not that crazy yet. But we'll be start to focusing on the monthly as we go into April here, because these are going to start to really come into play, I feel, on the higher time frames. Let's face it, the higher time frames are really where it's at now. We have been range bound between, let's face it, 4K and the mid 3000s for pretty much the latter half of December, all of January, all of February, all of March, pretty much Q1, which reminds me, other than our monthly and our weekly, we are also closing our quarter. All of January, all of February, all of March is 3 months out of a 12-month year, which means the quarterly candle, this guy right here, closes out the first Q1 of 2019 will be in the books here. And since our top off here, by far our tightest price action we've seen in Bitcoin in a 3-month span since January of 2017. So let's agree that maybe the selling has dried up, but we really can't say overall the buying has rocket shipped us anywhere close to getting higher up on this candle. Think about that. The last quarter of 2018, okay, we opened the quarter at $6,600 and we closed that guy at $3,600. So the loss of $3,000 plus in the Q4 of 2018 has been avenged with roughly almost a $900 move back up from that, which means we have over $2,000 or 50% of the current valuation of Bitcoin move in Bitcoin to get us back up to where we had been in the previous quarter there. So let's just keep things in perspective, people. I think we like to watch our daily price action, our 4-hour or 6-hour candles, but overall here, this is just a minor pimple on the price action of Bitcoin just as far back as October of 2014 here. I'm showing on Coinbase. Obviously, there's much more history abound. And because of that, I'm just not fully convinced that this is our truest of bottoming areas here, as the advance up of our April quarter, April, May, June, and July, August, September. I mean, listen, if you look at our July 17 quarterly candle here, closing up at, oh, wow, where did we close? We closed at 43.39, okay? We closed at 43.39 was our close, an area of interest of resistance for 339, and our quarter here, putting in that lower low there still. So these previous areas of price history definitely, I feel, come into play as we research Bitcoin's price action over our longer term time frames. But listen, our weekly candles, indicators, look at our Stoke once again, freaking 100. Okay, territory we really haven't seen. 100 by days here. I mean, we just barely had it December 26th. I mean, this thing is topped off like I have never seen on Coinbase. Let's see if we can find. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Yeah, there we go. When was the last time? Yeah, really December 16th. We got a little one here, November of 13. And then January of 13 and June of 12. We actually have, wow, look at that. We have circumstances where Bitcoin on the weekly stochastics has been topped off for months, right? June, July, August, 100, 100, 100. Okay, it's been such a long time. I mean, we can really resemble, I think this is really still in play, our December 16 move here of Bitcoin. Right here, no, right here. And this was all based on a very nice uptrend that continued while riding the middle Bollinger support. It's just a different scene here. We're finally getting above our middle Bollinger support on still a very wide Bollinger profile here. So in ways, I'm like, wow, this is crazy overbought. And in ways, I'm like, well, I can show you examples where it can be up here and stuck up here for a while, as long as the trend and the overall higher lows more or less continue. And we see that with the pop of our OBV here. Okay, now our OBV still has running room to get to one more resistance level, horizontally speaking here. That's right there. Let's make you red. Okay, support. That was our last support turn resistance line. And potentially a little running room to get there. As that back test being played out on the higher time frame is what we want to watch for. Okay, still ranging higher in our weekly MACD. Watch the spread here, okay, as we don't get too extended, and note a similarity, not yet, but getting closer to our bearish histogram can sometimes equal our bullish histogram. We're just not there yet on the butterfly sequence. It's the times where you feel like it's really bullish and we're really kind of flashed up. You know, that kind of is when they pull the rug out from under you. But then you're like, okay, well, what's the catalyst? What's the reason for the bulls to want to really capitulate now? You know, other than a feeling that they feel they can buy lower. Because let's face it, and this is where I bring in my longs and my shorts. Are we over leveraged? Look at our longs here. We're at 23,900 contracts of Bitcoin in a range-based area of, like, this chart doesn't tell me anything here. We're on our lower end, which more or less is supposed to show me that longs have running room, right? But maybe we're just wanting to set a whole new trend of a lower lows. Either way, we're not overextended. We're not really over leveraged. And shorts, once again, under 20K, 19K, we're unable to cross that bullish momentum and take a higher leverage than longs. Longs have held their higher leverage for quite a while now. And shorts are not ready to commit yet to this current market. And you know, I don't really blame them until there's a little more clarity of what's going on here. And both longs and shorts are in the lower range. Now, a couple altcoins, and here's what's kind of the conundrum here. We have a couple altcoin charts here, such as Ethereum longs that are still very near our all-time high regions. And we have Ethereum shorts at very close to our all-time low regions. Look how wide the Bollingers are here too. I mean, from extremes there, I mean, doesn't this just scream that from a risk versus reward standpoint, you know, the shorts of Ethereum, you know, you could see them begin to take positions here. I mean, these are not the area. Like, look how longs have been rewarded more or less on ETH, and shorts have been kind of get their hands slapped here. Litecoin longs, okay, again, this is the weekly, are really not buying into the movements this week so far. And Litecoin shorts, okay, now shorts were definitely waiting for this lower drop in Litecoin, or this drop in Litecoin, and they're taking a lot of leverage off the table here as well. So a lot of mixed signals consistent here, okay. XRP shorts low, XRP longs kind of high. Okay, so I'm seeing only, other than ETH really, nothing else is too crazily over leveraged, more or less. And like it or not, Bitcoin over 4K is Bitcoin over 4K. You know, you just can't argue with that. Anything can be possible as long as Bitcoin can hold the 4K region, even with some of our higher time frame indicators potentially showing a little, let's call it tiredness, as what I seem to be exuding right now. Let's stick with that one later. Let's do... Now, our most recent price action, okay. Actually, no, take that back. Let's just go to a full spectrum here, okay. Ever since our bottoming, and I just want to focus on Bitcoin post that last little bump there, right there. Cool. Okay, so we are here now. This entire run from our more or less our bottoming and up shows that $3,799. So let's just round up to $3,800. $3,800, people, is our most prominent, largest volume, money flow, price action that we have seen at that $3,800 level. And for me, it kind of represents, you know, the turning point, the really dividing line between a bullish Bitcoin and a breaking down Bitcoin. Because of the money flow key area of this $3,800. We have a slight little window here of a $3,966 all the way down to $3,900 there. So quick moves happen in those mid $3,900s. The break of 3,800, and we go quickly to the 3,600s, and then from there quickly down to the 3,400s. So we have a map here, okay, of supports, liquidity zones, right, open windows on the down. And then if you want to talk about the upside, this is kind of where it gets potentially interesting. So we have all this volume, all this money flow, okay? And let's compare, let's go out to September, go a little farther here, August, okay? It's pretty much a very consistent VSPR, VPSR, what the heck is it? VPVR, the volatility price visual range, is that right? And a pretty legit window to as high as the 5,500s before we actually see that cluster there of that price action. So there's a map here that says, okay, if the bulls really want to step up and if they can pull, frankly, a lot of their gains they've pulled from their altcoins, and they're going to run up Bitcoin's price action, you know, busting through 4,200, maybe $4,300. Does that really mean there's just free space, clear running room to almost 5K? And the answer is sure. it's a valid possibility just because of the bearish quick move here, and we've seen this before, can be turned into a window of just free flow, cash flow, money bringing the price action through a very thin space, thin vector of price action that may not resist the price there from a area of actual, price action here, bringing up, our overall supports on the higher time frame, or MAs on the higher time frames, would, kind of fill in the gaps here. But we see there's not a lot here in terms of that money where we fell through Bitcoin. There were no buyers here. Okay, there were no buyers on the way down. Could there be no sellers on the way up until these key areas, a little bit sub 5K potentially are tested? Because we've seen altcoin charts like this very similarly, right? That have been able to put in those higher highs, have been able to kind of use their parabolas to increase. Remember, a lot of the big gains we're seeing in these alts is kind of those last moves, where that last push higher, that last igniting move, really is where you get your biggest percentage winners there. I mean, it is not. Let's see if we can get this thing just to hold this. This thing's always a little tricky here. Right there, that looks pretty good. Okay, there is clearly a parabola-ish forming here in Bitcoin that, I mean, let's face it, is this our path through the rest of the summer here? And this can be adjusted slightly. Maybe we're unable to hold this support here, but I mean, heck, this is the goodest place in every to hold this support and to range this higher. And the last piece of this puzzle is mostly where a lot of those bigger gains are made. And I hesitate to really rocket this thing up higher, but it definitely, I mean, I really don't want to go that high yet. Actually, I want to bring this down here. This feels like it's a little too ahead of ourselves here. So are we building this parabola? Are we still in this moderate infancy of this bullish Bitcoin parabola? It's going to take us back up to, back up to 5K. I mean, let's just mark 5K right here if we can. Right? So we have a sense of the structure and the bullishness that we're trying to hold there, even though we're still putting in lower highs. Okay, but we're counteracting that with our higher lows as our overall apex, more or less continues to tighten. And if this is some sort of an ascending triangle or what have you, just an ascending pattern here, where we're getting tighter and tighter, let's get that right there. That's good. We're only talking about the first week or so in April. Like, this is the first week or so in April. We continue to maintain our lower support, okay? And we retest our upper resistance, still a little here under $4,200, okay? Which would be a $200 move of Bitcoin, 5%, not bad. I'll take it. But still, we are looking for that real decision in the market, and that could still take us into the first week or so of April. Now, the gains here on a lot of these altcoins they continue to hit these more or less resistance areas. I bring up Litecoin, still ranging in this rising wedge, still finding that sideways support here, and once again right at $60 here with a declining volume profile. We have Ethereum. What did I got here? I got a little fib here from last time. Most recent swing low, most recent swing high. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's do let's do something like this. Yeah, I like that better there. Found support in our golden pocket, bounce between 123, 125. Weren't able to get up to the 236, and currently finding 382 resistance. Okay, now this can range as long as the 50% holds at 132. But there's our range there all around. So we're still hitting these key resistances. Now let's face it, outliers. Okay, EOS was able to extend to a full 382 extension of our initial impulsive wave after riding the 236 resistance for weeks here, right? Riding it, break through, got a little bit above the 382, and one says the 236 was acting as resistance. Now our 382 extension range is kind of where it's at here. What was not much of a sell-off there on the end of day candle, and a little rejection here right at 70 on the RSI, but still very strong, denoted by our OBV there. So altcoins have definitely been able to use this Bitcoin stability momentum and that chance to retest this 4K range. Okay, but I don't think we're going to take this long. I don't think we're going to take us that far into April before a definitive answer is happening. And for the bulls to really capitulate, there's probably a good reason for, one more test, of this area. How could they not retest $4,200 again? We're just so close. Like, why would it not happen at least a little bit, at least once? To truly see how strong that area of resistance truly is, as it had been tested several times before. All right, got last couple minutes left here. 100 of my closest friends watching me tonight. Only 66 likes. Let's get that up to 100 if we can. Everybody give me a follow on Twitter, a follow on YouTube. Remember to hit that subscribe button as well. Remember to check out chonistrading.com here. And once again, we are watching several things happening here as Bitcoin's daily chart is still maintaining middle Bollinger support, closing above it after being rejected 2 days in a row. Still unable to test our upper BB, just a hair above $4,000 and a hair higher than where Bitcoin's current price action is. Volume overall continues to decline on a wider time frame, but we are still finding near-term EMA support. We are still finding MA100, MA50 daily support. And we're still finding strength in our indicators and overall oscillators on our low and moderate time frames. So everything keeps pointing to a larger, more meaningful move in the near-term future as Bitcoin's price action once again gets closer to this overall apex of decision, as we are just days away from our closing out of our monthly candle there. So, all right, guys, this was a good hour. Thank you so much for joining me. Much appreciated. Remember to give me a follow and a thumbs up. You guys are great. I will leave you with this. I want to be very bullish. How can you not be bullish when you're seeing some of the amazing gains we've been seeing on so many of our altcoins? Okay, but they are all hitting legitimate resistance areas that even if they are able to push through just a little bit more, you know, we're getting that close as well to Bitcoin's continued resistance areas just in this zone here while we test it one more time. Okay, Bitcoin is still represents 50% of the overall crypto market. All coins represent the other 50%. Our volume overall has been very high from a daily standpoint. We're seeing that really come in. We're liking that. This is good action. This is good volatility in our overall candles here. Again, there's no reason for the bulls not to concede just yet, even though we're back over 4K and hitting a little bit of minor resistance here just because it's local, because we were here just a week ago and we got rejected right here, like exactly right here just a week ago. Near term, let's get up a couple $100 more and really see how strong that resistance is at $4,200. Otherwise, I'd be start to thinking about my Fibonacci retracement from my overall swing high to my overall swing wall of my nearest impulsive wave move here, and get a sense of where I expect key areas of support to potentially be holding. Because listen, we found support at the 618, we found support at the 50, we found support at the 382, we found support at 236. We failed to hold it. We found support again at the 382, and we bounced above and closed above the 236, which only leaves one level left to conquer, and that was basically a double top, coinciding with one more test of our 4190 area to see how strong where we are. Does Bitcoin have the momentum? Does Bitcoin have the power? Do the bulls have it in them to climb a little bit higher, to push these altcoins just a little bit higher, and see how strong the market truly is? And with that, this is your friend Big Chonis. You guys are great. Talk to you soon. Peace out. Love you guys. Peace out.